Have you ever stopped to think about why some relationships work out and others seem doomed to failure from the start? Is there a secret combination, a hidden factor, or even an invisible pattern that separates couples who thrive from those who merely survive? The truth is that relationships don't end overnight. They slowly wear out, amid unexplained silences, unspoken expectations, and small ignored attitudes. What if I told you that there are silent behaviors that, if you don't identify and correct them, could be sabotaging your relationship right now? Stay with me until the end, because in this video you will discover the main reasons that destroy romantic connections and, most importantly, what to do to protect your relationship before it's too late. One of the biggest mistakes in any relationship is believing that love alone is enough. Passion can spark the beginning of a story, but it is the day-to-day attitudes that sustain the connection. Studies show that the human brain tends to get used to repeated stimuli. What was once novel becomes routine, and what was once enchanting becomes habit. This is when many couples begin to drift apart, without realizing it. A lack of novelty, curiosity about each other, and even overconfidence can lead to emotional neglect. Remember that good morning you no longer say? That tight hug that was replaced by an automatic touch? Small mistakes that seem harmless, but that accumulate until they become an invisible barrier. And the worst part, before we know it, we are already talking more to strangers on social media than to the person next to us. Another crucial point is communication, or rather, the lack of it. Communication is not just talking, it is knowing how to listen. It is being able to express frustration without turning it into an attack. It is saying "this hurts me" without accusing. Many relationships end not because of the problems themselves, but because of the way partners deal with them. A study from the University of Washington found that couples who start arguments with harsh criticism have a 94% chance of ending badly. In other words, the problem is not disagreeing, but how you disagree. Empathy is the most important muscle in a relationship. If you are not training this with the person you claim to love, the relationship will wither. Replacing accusations with active listening, complaints with clear requests, and judgments with understanding can completely change the dynamics between two people. And there is more. Idealization is a silent trap. At the beginning of a relationship, we see the other person through rose-colored glasses. We ignore flaws, project qualities, and create a romanticized version of the person. But with time, reality imposes itself, and many do not know how to deal with it. They expect their partner to continue being the idealization they had at the beginning, and when they show their human flaws, frustration sets in. But true love begins when you see the other person as they are, not as you wanted them to be. Loving someone also means accepting their shadows, their fears, their limitations. Long-lasting relationships are not formed by perfect people, but by people willing to grow together, even with imperfections. Emotional maturity is recognizing that loving also means taking care of the other person, even on difficult days. Now, perhaps the greatest saboteur of all is the lack of a common purpose. Many times, two people connect through chemistry, companionship, mutual admiration, but over time, they discover that they are going in opposite directions. And then a dilemma arises. Follow your heart or follow your path. Couples who do not have a plan for the future together, aligned goals, or even similar values, end up falling apart. And this can happen without arguments, without betrayal, just because of incompatible directions. Therefore, it is essential to talk about the future early on. Where do you want to go? What kind of life do you want to build? What principles are non-negotiable? Love grows when there is a shared vision. When both people are rowing in the same direction, challenges stop being obstacles and become part of the journey. And finally, perhaps most importantly, self-love. No relationship will be healthy if you are trying to fill an internal void with someone else. Many people enter into relationships to escape loneliness, to feel validated, or to have a soulmate. But when you give someone else the responsibility of making you happy, you also give them the power to destroy you. Mature relationships are made up of two whole people who love each other enough not to lose themselves in the relationship. Being together should be a choice, not a necessity. A true partner is someone who adds value, not someone who completes. Therefore, before seeking love outside, strengthen what exists within you. Lasting relationships are not made by those who fit perfectly, but by those who decide to walk together with respect, purpose, and genuine love. If you got this far, it is because you know that love is a daily choice. And if this video made sense to you, maybe it is time to take a closer look at your relationship. Reflect. What have you done to nurture this connection? What can still be improved? Share this video with someone you love, because sometimes all a relationship needs is a good conversation started by content like this. Like, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Which of these points made you think the most? Because at the end of the day, relationships are not about promises made at the beginning, but about attitudes maintained until the end.